Hey everybody, it's Missy with the Hip Kit Club. Thanks so much for joining me again today. I have a new layout, and this is my 5th layout using the 2016 October kits, and my only requirement for this week was to use cut files. So I was playing around with this picture, and it's a recent picture of me and my sister, and we were in a dressing room shopping for jeans, and we have on the same pair, and we thought it was funny, and so we took a picture. And I really liked the denim color. I like that dark navy blue. And I started playing around with some of the Project Life cards. And I chose 3. And I wanted to incorporate this cut file into my background. And this is the same cut file that I used last week. This is from Zinnia. She's another one of the DT members. And I really like the look of this. And last week I cut it on different paper. And I cut it up into pieces and just used parts of it. But for this week, I'm going to use the 8.5 by 11 full cut file, and it's on one of the pink paisley papers. It's hard to tell in my bright lights here, but it's one of those gradient papers that goes from really light teal to a little bit darker color. And I play around with the backgrounds here. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go with white, but I wind up going with the navy cardstock, and I'm so glad I did because it really pulls out the blue from the picture, and it reminds me of jeans. And so I thought, this is perfect. I'm going to try this, get out of my comfort zone, and go with a dark background. And I really love how it turned out. So I went through all those Project Life cards. Each month we get exclusive Project Life cards, and they are so much fun. And I love to use them on layouts. And I love that turquoise and white stripe one. I'm going to use that as a layer. The one on the left says, "Hello, beautiful people," and I thought that was cute. I like the fact that it's white and it's got the navy blue hello, and on the left it's a very light pale pink and white stripe. The one in the back says, "Today fun was found in the most unexpected place." And I thought that was funny because we're in a dressing room and we were still having fun. And the green card on the right says, "Always look on the fabulous side of life." And I just kept pulling these cards out. I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect. I'm going to use it. And so I kind of created this 3-piece design there where I've got the three cards and then the photo in the middle. And this is basically how the design is going to look. I went through the ephemera pack from the Gather, was it Gather collection? I can't remember. I think it was the Gather collection. And I pulled out things that would match. I've got some light pink going through here. I went through the Honey I'm Home We Are Memory Keepers die cut pack, and I pulled out some things that I think would go. I'm going to pull in a little bit of the light pink and a little bit of that bright coral, as well as that lime green color. So I've got a bunch of different colors going on, and it's very different for me, but it was fun to do, and I like how it turned out. So I'm going to glue down the cut file, and off camera I did a little bit of stitching on my layer of cards here, and I just did some white stitching at the top and on the sides there. And I left the strings hanging off because this is a layout about shopping, and I just thought of, threads and fabrics and stuff and clothes, and I thought it would be perfect to leave the threads hanging off of where I stitched. And plus it was on white, and it's going to show up really nicely on that dark background. And I wanted it to look kind of messy, and I just like how it looks. Okay, so I'm going to raise up this whole thing here, and I'm going to use a little bit of foam from my stash. And it's very thin, so it's not a huge layer, so it's not super dimensional, but it does give it a little bit of a lift. Now, you know me, I have to do a little bit of mixed media, so I'm going to jazz up the corners of these Project Life cards, and I'm just using my finger to smudge some white gesso on there to prime them, because the surface of these cards, is kind of slick, and so I want the paint to stick to it. I almost didn't do this part here. I like how it turned out, but I almost wanted to leave the background just crisp and clean, but the mixed media lover in me said, no, you have to do something on the background. And so I just do a little bit of mixed media work. It's not a lot, but I do take my finger again and smudge some white gesso on the top and the bottom, just enough so where it's peeking out from the layers. And I'm going to come in with a little bit of pink. But before I do that, hang on, back up. I'm going to use some blue. And this is some Jenny B blue shimmers. And I just want a little bit of variation of blue color on the corners of these cards. And so I'm going to start out by just using a brush and just kind of brush and dab with a napkin. And then I'm going to just flip it over and smush it down. And I just updated my video editing software, and it's changed the way my lighting looks for some reason. So hopefully you can see this okay and it's not too bright. It actually edits a lot better and a lot quicker, but the lighting when I'm editing does look a little bit different. So hopefully it's still clear and bright. Okay, I love how that looks on the cards. It's very subtle, but it still gives it a little bit more interest. They're not just plain solid color. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm using a combination of the Prima oil pastels that we got in the August color kit, along with some of the shimmers that we got in, oh goodness, I can't remember, a couple of color kits ago. This is the Pink Stilettos colorings, and I'm just dabbing, as you can see here, a little bit, and then using that as the liquid to smudge some of these pastels. And I just want a soft pink haze coming off of the background, peeking out from underneath the layers. And that's exactly what this does. Using your finger on top of the cardstock to smudge the pastels does a really good job of making it look kind of foggy and faded, but you can also see the texture of the cardstock very, very nicely through these pastels. That's pretty much all I do as far as mixed media. I wanted to keep the true blue to the cardstock. I didn't want to cover a lot of that up. And this is something I don't do a lot. I'm using my edge distressor to ruffle up some of the edges of the cards, just so they're not so clean and crisp. And the rest of this is going to be a lot of experimenting with different embellishments and seeing what I like where. Like I said, this is a big color scheme for me because I've got a lot of different colors going on, but it flowed together pretty nicely. Those little flower stickers from the We Are Memory Keeper sticker sheet really had a lot of ones that I could use, but I felt like at times it was getting kind of busy, and so I didn't want to take away from those Project Life cards. I just wanted to accent them a little bit. I'm going to add a couple of stickers here and there, just more green, a little bit more of the navy blue, some of the pink and the coral. And the more I embellished, the more I loved how this turned out. I was very happy that I used that dark background. And I love how the pastels look on top of it. It's fun to just try something different. And I've used dark backgrounds before. It's just been a while. And it's the first time I've used one with those pastels. That's one of the puffy stickers from the Pink Paisley Take Me Away Thickers pack, and I just used one of the white leaf stems there as a layer, and I love how that looks. I love the white on white. And my picture was starting to sag a little bit, so I added a little bit of foam underneath there just to kind of make sure it was even. What did I do here? Oh, I did some more stitching. And this is just very subtle stitching on the background, and it's in a light pink thread. It's not even that visible from here, but it does give a little bit more color and texture and interest in real life. So I'm finally going to glue everything down. And that's something that you can do if you're not sure, is you can work on your big design and work on it separately and then later on attach it to your background if you're not sure. That way you can move the whole thing around and other things don't get jumbled up and you won't forget where you put them. If you have to put it all down and then take it all off, I like to kind of assemble it and make sure it's all stuck together so I don't lose any pieces. Now I'm going to add in that little navy blue circle. It's a puffy sticker and it says Snippets of Life, Snippets of Our Life. And I like the pop of navy on top of that floral cluster. And then I added another pop of that bright coral with that circle down there. Now I didn't know what I wanted to do for my title. I knew that I wanted to use some existing stickers from the kit instead of making up my own title from the, or using my Cameo, I mean. So I waited for a while to come up with my title. I really wanted to use that rubber charm, but it does not make it onto the page. I finally decided to go with these gorgeous matte gold puffy alpha stickers, and my title's going to be hashtag shopping, because that's what we were doing. And I really want to use this tag with a 2 on it. And I'll show you that later when I get to it. But in the meantime, I'm going to come in with some of the Simple Stories clear stickers. I'm going to use that little navy blue clip at the top, and then I'm going to use some of the rub-ons, and those are, I believe, Wear Memory Keepers. And I'm just going to put a couple here and there peeking out from everything just to add more pops of gold. And these rub on really smoothly, and they're shiny, but they're not like super shiny to where they blind you like some other gold things. Which, don't get me wrong, I love all things gold, but these are more of a matte finish, I guess you could say, and I really love that about them because they really go with those thick alphas down there at the bottom. I wish we had like 20 packs of those rub-ons because they're addictive, because they're so nice and they rub on very, very smoothly. So I decide to add this 2 tag down here at the bottom on top of the O. The more I looked at it, the more it reminds me of a clothing tag, but it also reminds me of one of those little tags they give you when you go in a dressing room. You know, if you have 2 items, they give you that little plastic thingy to stick on the door. That's what it reminded me of. And I thought, okay, there's 2 of us. We have 2 pairs of jeans, so I'm going to use that, and I'm just going to stick it right there on top of the O. And I love the pop of color that it gives, and I love that that's what it looks like. And it was the perfect embellishment for this, I think. And I didn't even plan that when I started making this page about shopping. It just occurred to me halfway through the page that that's what that looked like. And I think we've got one of every number in the kits. So there's lots of different things you could do with those. And this is actually the first one I've used because I wasn't sure how to use it, and this was perfect. So now I'm just going to add in pops of color with some thread. I've got a coral color that I'm going to add right there, and then up at the top right, I'm going to add that pretty aqua teal color. And it's hard to see this here under these bright lights, but you can see it in person really well. And I'm going to leave those white strings hanging off the Project Life cards just because I like the fact that I've got a lot of fabric going on. So for some more pops of shiny shimmery gold, I'm going to use some of the Glorious Day Vibes shimmers, and that's in our color kit this month. Very, very pretty. When it dries, it's gold and shimmery. I do decide to come in with some gold thread, and my gold thread always gives me trouble when I try to loop it up and make a little messy nest because the texture is different and it does not want to stay looped. It wants to just come loose and straighten out. So I have to work at the metallic thread a lot. But I like the accent that it gives, and I just felt like I needed a little more gold, so that's why I did that. I think I'm getting close to wrapping it up. I do come in with the date, and I'm going to use one of those little post-it notes sticky tabs there. It's light pink. I'm just going to add the date, and then I'm going to come in with my journaling right under that with a white gel pen. And that's the final layout. I really love how this turned out. I was very, very happy with the background. I think it really makes all those light colors just pop off the dark color. And I love the fact that I use lots of different colors. And this actually came together pretty quickly. I went from not having an idea at all to just kind of playing around and everything falling together. And so that was always nice when that happens. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the techniques or the products. Make sure you visit hipkitclub.net. November kits should be headed out soon, so be on the lookout for that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.